Hello and welcome everyone. Today we are doing a good old-fashioned cleaning video. I haven't done one of these in a while, and we are going to start off in my living room. Often if I have the whole house to clean, I like to start off in the living room, specifically on the couch, because it is the most simplest surface for me to tackle. All I have to do is fluff the pillows and the blankets. I am immediately getting them off the floor because that's where my kids love to put them. And I just get immediate satisfaction out of it that I completed a task. Because let's face it, couches are a pretty large surface and they typically grab my attention immediately when I walk into a room. So if my couch is organized, it just gets me going, and I feel like I can then tackle those more difficult tasks that I tend to push off, like dishes and wiping off surfaces and putting things away, picking up trash, stuff like that, things that you just have to do all the time when you have little kids. So now I'm moving on to our coffee table, and I'm just taking everything off of it, and then I'm going to wipe it down, and then I will move on to the floor. By the way, if you're new here, my name is Nissa, and I make videos about motherhood and homemaking. I have 3 children, a 4-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 2-year-old. We had 3 under 3, and each one of them are 17 months apart. I also am a cancer survivor, so I like to do a lot of my cleaning with non-toxic products, and if that's something you're interested in, then I definitely recommend that you subscribe and follow along, because that is what I try to focus my channel around, is non-toxic cleaning and lifestyle. I also have to give a shout out to God's glory and grace, because my doctors originally told me after I finished chemotherapy, I was on chemo for 2.5 years, that I would have a very difficult time having children. And I have been blessed with 3 children. It kind of felt like me and my husband could not stop having children. This right here is my youngest. Her name is Ariel, and she just really wanted to get in this video. So you're going to see her a little bit throughout it. I was home alone with her this day when I was doing all this cleaning. But anyway, I found this awesome rattan book basket at the thrift store, and I'm obsessed with it. It fits in this slim spot in here in my living room. We have a pretty small living room, so I wanted a space to put books and it not feel cluttered. But sometimes my kids don't put the books back in the most gracefully, so I often had to go back into this corner and put them in myself, along with picking up our shoes. We try to avoid wearing shoes in our house, so I keep this basket by the front door so that everyone is encouraged to take off their shoes when walking in. I am like someone who does not like paying full price for things, so I also found these little side tables. They have like a marble top, which is amazing, at Habitat for Humanity. I'm pretty sure I got them for like 25 bucks, and I love them so much. I feel like they match in here perfectly. But moving on to vacuuming, I ended up vacuuming in the evening of filming this video, because I normally like to vacuum after wiping down all the surfaces on my first floor, and I will do the whole first floor at once because we have a pretty small house. However, I only was able to vacuum this room because my vacuum ended up dying. So you're not going to see me vacuum the rest of the house. And I just kind of thought, you know, I'll slip this clip in here with the rest of the living room clips so that way it all makes sense. But the last thing I will say about thrifting, I also found our coffee table at the thrift store, and it was like $45. We didn't have a coffee table in here for years because I felt like my kids just kind of like used the floor space a lot. But then we moved them up into our 3rd floor room, which used to be our master bedroom. And I made a video about that, turning our master bedroom into our playroom. So feel free to check that out if you're interested. And I just noticed that not as much play was taking place in our living room anymore. So I was kind of like, you know what, we have people over a good amount. Like, it's time to get a coffee table. And I love this one so much. I love like antiques and old things. I feel like in our living room specifically, it's a lot of like modern and like newer things. So I feel like the old coffee table kind of balances out like my vibe that I have throughout the rest of my house. But anyway, here's a nice little clip of how it looks in here. It literally lasts for 2 seconds. And now I'm moving on to my kitchen. My kitchen is not that big of a mess right now, but there is a lot of stuff on the counter, and there's some dishes and a ton of laundry in our breakfast nook. So I'm just going to start off by doing the dishes in here, and then I'll work on cleaning off the counters. If you've watched any of my videos before, you would know that we just recently renovated our kitchen and it is not 100% done. I'm thinking about putting beadboard up on the back wall and making that the backsplash and painting these shelves white. But I got a very kind comment in one of my last videos about how they like the tan shelves, and I have had family and friends tell me they like the tan shelves too. But I also kind of feel like I have this vision of having like a white cottagey looking kitchen. But if you have an opinion, definitely let me know down below, because I really am going back and forth about it right now. I do definitely want to do the beadboard backsplash, but I'm just not sure if I should paint the shelves or leave them tan or stain them. And we're also going to declutter a little bit in this video, because if you see this drawer, we have all these water bottles and thermoses that we literally don't use. I have random jars in here. So I'm just getting a few of these out that we like never touch anymore. And that way we can maybe close this drawer and have it a bit more organized and make more sense. I got this piece of furniture here off of Facebook Marketplace, and it has a trash can on one side, and we keep our kids, what are they called? Utensils on the other side. And I love it. I feel like it serves our family so well, and I love that we can now hide our trash can. We originally had one of those stainless steel trash cans, and they just like, you have to wipe them down all the time, and they're kind of gross looking. But anyway, now I am just going to wipe down my counters. I use cast iron soap and water and whatever essential oil I am in the mood to smell for a couple of weeks. So typically I'll do lemon or lavender, peppermint. doTERRA has this On Guard blend, which is nice in the winter because I think it's like a disinfectant blend. It's good for like germs and when you're getting sick. But yeah, that's normally like my preference on what I like to do for cleaning my surfaces. And our dish soap is literally just straight cast iron soap. Our hand soap is a little bit of cast iron soap with water, and I have them in foaming hand pumps. I just ordered off Amazon. But yeah, cast iron soap I just feel like is the way to go. Now I'm just moving on to my dishes. A lot of these things that I have in here, I like to dry immediately after, like this marble spoon rest. I feel like if I don't dry it immediately after, it gets like this dry look. I don't even know how to describe it. And I have to like oil it with mineral oil the same way I would with my cutting boards. And yes, I am a person who uses soap on my cast iron frying pan, and that is literally because we never use this cast iron frying pan. Like, it probably gets used every couple of months, so I've never invested the time or energy into worrying about keeping it seasoned or anything. And then I have all of my wood cooking utensils that I like to dry afterwards as well. Little fun fact, this is like such a blessing for me, is we got this white drop-in sink off of a auction website. It was like a $700 sink that I got off this auction website for $90, and I love it. I honestly, it's not ceramic, but it is plastic. That's the only one downside of it. But I feel like for a do-it-yourself, like, home renovation, the first time I were doing a kitchen, and potentially not like your forever home, like, this was a great option, and I am just obsessed. The one thing that I am so sad about is that when my husband was installing it, he accidentally cracked the corner, and we epoxied it back on, and I normally will hang like a hand towel over top of it. You'll see me do that in a little bit when I'm done cleaning everything, but I notice it, which is the one thing that makes me sad. Like, I've had people tell me they've never even noticed it until I point it out, but I notice it. So you know how that is. It's like, if you notice it, then it feels like the end of the world sometimes. But in my last video that I just posted, I was talking a lot about perfectionism and how it is something that I really struggle with and need to learn to let go of, and having like that, honestly, that picture perfect like kitchen and sink is not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Like, I need to be changing my mindset to the fact that, like, I have a sink and it is often filled with dishes because I have little children that I get to feed, and we have food that we get to eat, and there's just like so many little things that you need to like change your mindset on. And that is something that is very hard for me because I come from the mindset of always being a glass half empty. And that is due to some of my own childhood trauma that I need to work through. But it is encouraging, I feel like, with my husband, because he definitely balances me out, and he's always pointing out the things that like we can be thankful for. And I have felt like that is something that the Lord has also been convicting me on. And I have learned that it is so important to pray for the joy of the Lord. Like, he gives us the fruit of the Spirit, but for me personally, asking the Lord to fill me with his joy, the joy of the Holy Spirit, has been helping me and changing me so much to be grateful for the things that I have in life. Moving on to cleaning my stove, I made my kids chicken nuggets for lunch, and a couple of them didn't really want them. I like to use the Scrub Daddy Power Paste on my stove. I feel like it works really well. It's not 100% non-toxic. It says it is on the container, but it's not perfect. But because this is a white stove, it stains so terribly and regular, like it stains so often. And I've just noticed that the Power Paste is right now my best option for cleaning it. Alright, my kitchen is now all clean. This is literally the best feeling, having a clean kitchen. Like, I cannot describe, this is the best feeling. I love having my surfaces all cleaned and wiped down. I don't know, it just makes me so happy and I feel like I have my life together. But now I'm moving on to our little breakfast table. Sometimes this turns into our dumping zone, and I always keep this tablecloth on it, this like checkered gingham tablecloth, whatever you want to call it. But we used this table at Thanksgiving and it got a ton of food and crumbs on it, so I washed the tablecloth and I just need to put it back on and then put all my little decorations back on the table as well. And then these are my two boys. There's Cooper and Maverick. I said Cooper is 4. He's the one in the camo shirt, and then Maverick is the other little guy wandering around. But once I'm done just taking care of this table, then I'm going to move on to our big dining room table and wipe that all off and get that ready so that we can have a nice dinner on it. But if you made it this far, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your support and for making it this far in the video. It means so much to me, and it helps me out a lot when you consider liking and subscribing. Alright, thank you so much and God bless.